Hello and welcome to this live training. This is Stop, Drop, and Sit training number 7. Welcome everybody. If you're here, say hello. I would love to know if you're going to join me in the community tonight to practice. Today, I want to go over some meditation basics. For those who've never meditated before, or for those who maybe tried meditation and didn't have the best experience, and those who have been meditating, it's always good to get back to the basics and to have a beginner's mind always, to be open and receptive to learning. So here we are, we're at training number 7, every Mondays, stop, drop, and sit. So let's go ahead with, hey Devin, how are you? All right, let's go ahead and start with some myths that I want to clear up regarding meditation. There are certainly, definitely some myths out there. Okay, so the first one is clear your mind, control your thoughts, empty out your thoughts. Is this even possible? No, it's not. I mean, actually, for an experiment, I tried to see if I can hang on to a thought and try to control one as long as I could, and you can't even do that. You can't control your thoughts. They just come, and you certainly can't try to push them out and empty. That's not the point of meditation. The point of meditation is to be with our thoughts, to allow them actually to come in, so that when you first start sitting, the first thing you'll notice is actually that the thoughts will just come rushing in. And that's when most people want to quit because they're just like, oh my gosh, this is not for me. Let's just do Pilates or something, right? But actually, you're practicing in that moment because you're watching the thoughts from the outside. Think of a tornado. If you're on the outside of the tornado watching it, you can see just how fast it's spinning. But that's different than actually being inside of the tornado where you're completely in the experience. So when you watch your thoughts in meditation and they're just going crazy, you're on the outside looking at it. So you can look at it that way. All right, so you're actually practicing. The other myth is that I just don't have time to meditate, which is BS. Because I want to ask you, do you have time to go to the bathroom? Do you have time to eat or have a sip of water? If you have time to just breathe, you have time to meditate. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to take an hour, and you don't have to sit in uncomfortable positions. You can just do it for a minute, maybe even 30 seconds, and get the benefit. It's not about the duration. It's more about the frequency. All right. So you can start exactly where you are. You don't have to be, quote, Zen enough to start meditating. You can start right now. All right, which we'll do in a second. And another myth, and these aren't all the myths, but I'm just going to cover a couple. Another myth is that you're trying to achieve a blissful state each time, right? When you meditate, you want to feel really awesome? No, that's also not the point of meditation, although you may end up feeling that way. I'm not going to say that's not going to happen. That happens a lot. But sometimes that won't happen. Sometimes it'll be pretty uncomfortable. And so the point is not to achieve that because, first of all, if that's your goal, then you're going to be frustrated if you don't reach that goal, right? So that's not the point. The point is to relate to our thoughts, watch them come and go, and we're developing a different relationship to them. So, and that, once we get better and better at training ourselves to do that, can actually feel calm and blissful. All right. So that's it for now. There are more myths, but I don't want to chew up too much of our time. There are 4 steps that I want to talk about that could help you maybe think about how to do this practice. And I broke it down into an acronym because I'm a fan of acronyms. And the acronym is SCAT. SCAT, like jazz scatting. Da da da, boo 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 boo. SCAT, SCAT. S is for settle. We're settling into our body. We are finding our posture, the one that works best for us. And I'll say that you want ideally an energy that's somewhere between alert yet relaxed. You don't want to be so relaxed. Like if you want to lie down, that's fine. Actually, sometimes we need to do that. But if you're so relaxed, you could possibly fall asleep. So if you can sit, you can sit on a chair. And if you do sit on a chair, make sure that the bottoms of your feet are flat on the ground because that gives you the best spine posture. Okay. If you're sitting on the ground on a cushion, I would recommend maybe a couple of cushions, depending on how firm it is, and see if you can prop your hips a little higher than your knees. So you're sitting on your bum on the cushions on the floor and you're a little higher. Your hips are higher than your knees. But if you really have to lie down, go ahead and do that. And when we find the posture, I always like to start out by taking 3 deep breaths, sighing breaths, so that we can just relax into and settle into the posture. So that's S for settle. C is for check in. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I? And notice how your body is, any sensations that you're noticing. What is the most dominant sensation that's happening right now? And notice your mood, your mental weather. You know, is it a sunny day, a rainy day? So check in. A is the next word for anchor, and that's kind of together with thoughts. So I'll explain that in a second. Anchor is something that you pick, like a focal point, such as your breath, or it could be the sounds in your room, or it could be a sensation in any part of your body that feels comfortable to you. For me, I have crazy sensations in my hands. Like I constantly feel prickly, tingling, electrical things going on. So I often use my hands if I don't feel like using my breath. It changes. So the point is, pick one anchor that you can keep coming back to over and over. And when do you come back to the anchor? Well, when you get pulled away by the thoughts, which will come, as I discussed earlier, it's totally normal for the thoughts to come rushing in. So when you notice that you're being distracted, smile at the thoughts, say, hey, and then come back to your anchor. Come back to the sensations of the breath, the hands, or the sounds in the room. Okay, so that's A for anchor. And then T, the last letter for scat, T, is for tenderness. You want to offer kindness to yourself always when you're practicing meditation because it's not um, it's not the hardest, it's not the easiest thing to do sometimes. And we could be so hard on ourselves, like we're not doing it right. You know, how many times have you said that to yourself, or you're afraid of meditation because you're afraid that you may talk to yourself that way? So tenderness, offering understanding and compassion is so important. So I always like to wrap up the meditation with that. So let's go ahead and practice. All right. So let's find your posture. You could be lying down, you could be sitting on a chair or on a cushion. And let's first settle, finding your posture. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Closing your mouth, breathing in through your nose, expanding your lower belly, and sigh it out of your mouth. Good. Breathing in again through your nose, filling up that belly. And just let it out. Let your body settle. Again, breathing in again through your nose. Let it nurture your whole body. And breathing out through your mouth. Let your body be heavier. Just settling into whatever posture you're in. Good. Now let's check in. How am I? Just notice your mental weather in this very moment. What's going on? Are there some fluffy white clouds today or some gray, ominous ones? And notice any sensations in your body. What is the most dominant sensation you're noticing right now? Okay, cool. And now pick an anchor. Pick an anchor. Maybe your breath, your hands, the sounds. Just pick one. And really allow yourself to get into the sensations of that anchor. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? And as soon as thoughts come in, I'm sure they've already come in, just smile at them and come right back to your anchor. For me, I'm feeling some prickly sensations on my right fingertips. Maybe you're noticing your chest as you're breathing, or maybe you're hearing the sounds in your room. Notice which anchor helps you stay in the present moment the most. You could play around with this as you practice. And keep coming back to your anchor. Whenever the thoughts pull you away, smile at them and then come back to your anchor. We're training our attention, and we're training ourselves to be with whatever it is. We're not pushing the thoughts away. We're not trying to choke them away. We're being with our thoughts, and we're coming back to our body, to the present moment. And now T for tenderness. I like to imagine my heart breathing, my heart space, as if my heart has a mouth and a nose. And I like to take in 2 deep breaths through my heart, breathing in and breathing out. And as I breathe out, I send kindness to my body. Again, breathing in through my heart, through my chest. Let this be nourishing to your body, to your heart. And breathing out, sending tenderness and compassion to all the limbs of your body. Great. And you can end with a little gratitude, thanking yourself for showing up. And then you can gently open your eyes if they were closed. Okay, great. And speaking of the gaze, and I didn't speak about that, you can either have them closed, or if you prefer, you can have them slightly open with a soft gaze and just fixated on a non-moving spot in front of you. So whichever one works better for you. All right, so as you can see, there are lots of different ways to practice. I'm just giving you points how you can develop a practice that works best for you. It's not a one size fits all, my friends. All right, so keep experimenting, keep practicing, and remember, you have 30 seconds to do this. Okay, namaste. I'll see you soon.